Hello and welcome back to a brand new vlog. My name is Orion. I make videos every single Wednesday and Sunday. I post them at 6 p.m. And today we're beginning the vlog in somewhere a little unusual. This is where I actually spent the majority of my childhood growing up here. This is my nan's place, and I have spent many a year building dens and climbing trees. And honestly, every time I come back here, it's so strange to be here, because I swear all my memories of this place is just like when I'm like this big, and everything feels so much smaller now, even though obviously I've just got bigger. But yeah, I have so many fond memories of exploring the woods and adventuring. However, in the last vlog, I talked about the fact that we're gonna be doing some renovation work at my nan's, like taking her conservatory down and building like a new extension there. And today I'm here to film what it kind of looks like before the work goes underway. Now, number one, it's important to note that there's a lot of work to be done. So take everything you see with a pinch of salt, and it's probably gonna look vastly different the next time we come round, because today, I'm not actually getting involved today because I've got friends around and we're going off to do stuff this weekend. However, my family is around clearing out the conservatory. So I'm just here to showcase what it's going to look like before we start tearing it down. And the second thing is that I'm not too sure how confident my family feels about being on camera. So if it feels like I'm weirdly filming in a discreet way, it's because I don't want to put my family on camera when they're not totally comfortable with it. But anyway, let's go to my nan's and I'll show you what we're dealing with. And I had no idea, but the work has already begun. This used to be like an extension here, and it's already gone, as is quite evident by the tiling on the floor. But I don't think I've ever actually showcased where I spent most of my childhood. This is just the back garden, and goes all the way up to where you can see those trees back there. And then if we walk around the side of the house, around here, you actually have the front garden as well, which goes beyond those big trees over there. Honestly, this place will always feel like home to me because I've spent so much of my childhood here. I actually adore this place so much. It's going to be really sad to see my granddad's hard work get knocked down. But as you can see in here, the water damage is really come through, which is why this has to be done. A lot of it has already been cleared out. As you can see, it looks quite empty at the moment, but yeah. Oof, that is not looking good. And this sadly has to go as well. In here is actually where my granddad had his office, and he had his computer set up in here. But you can actually see how bad the damage is on the ceiling here, because that's all of that is like mold from the water and damp. Let me tell you, it doesn't smell pretty. And obviously it's not a very safe environment for my nan to live in either. Especially when you consider that this is quite literally all that's holding up the roof, which is crumbling and falling apart. But this is basically where the main extension is going to go. I believe we're putting in a wall across here that goes all the way up to that door there. So you'll still get a conservatory in here, but all of this needs to come down. The roof needs to come down and be replaced. And I'm pretty sure the floor needs to come up as well. So everything in here has got to get cleared out. And oh yes, an absolutely beautiful day to begin work on the house. It's raining outside. I'm sure that is going to really help with the water damage. But as you can probably tell, this is quite a hefty job to undertake, because this whole conservatory has to come down. We need to fit new doors in, and obviously that's going to require new frames and stuff to make sure it's all structurally sound. But when this is all cleared out and freshened up and stuff like that, we're going to completely open this and then turn this into a bit of a dining room. But as well, this stud wall is going, so it's just complete pathway all the way through into conservatory. So you've got like nice dining area in here, straight into the conservatory, not so many doors. And I didn't realize it was happening right now, but you can see it's getting ripped down already. But before we disappear, I think I might send a drone up so we can get a look from above. So, to the sky. Man, I love my drone. I'm so glad I bought that. It's so nice to see everything from an aerial perspective. But as you can see, there is just so much work to be done. So for now, this is kind of what we're working with. I'm going to do a little walkthrough showcasing where we're at right now as we're removing as much of the wood as possible. Again, this is what the room looks like with all the damp damage in there. And then through here is my granddad's old office. And then around the back, where the conservatory is, this is what it looks like right now with all of the sofas and stuff inside. By the time we come back here, this whole thing will get knocked down and we start afresh. So it's served well over the years. I'm gonna miss all the grapevine that used to grow across here and fed me grapes. All right, it's time to go. Back home where we've had a new delivery. And yes, I know you might have thought that we were gonna be going out this weekend, but unfortunately the weather has been absolutely atrocious. So I'm back home where I can show you all of my lovely pictures. Now, a few of these haven't actually changed, like the Vietnam one here and another Vietnam picture with a bike. But I have actually got some new large pictures printed out of photos that I have taken throughout the UK on our adventures. So we've got one there, and then we've got another one over here. And to be honest, I think they actually came out really good, especially considering that I took these with my phone. However, I can't really showcase it that well because the reflection is so good on this that you just kind of see my reflection in the background. But obviously, I did allude to the fact that we we have a new package. And as you can kind of see there, it's from the Cotswold Company. Because thanks to my mother, the accountant that she has whizzed all the numbers together and saved me an absolute crap ton on tax. So I got some money back, and we decided that it'd be a good idea to probably buy a table. Because I don't know for how many weeks now, but we have basically just sat at my desk and ate dinner on the corner there using this crappy chair. Now, you might be thinking that this is quite a small table, and that's because that isn't actually the table. This is actually a matching bench that goes with the table. The table is due to arrive later today, so I probably won't film it in this vlog. In the next vlog, we'll probably put all the table together and finalize things, because I have a bit of a task to undergo today. As the table is arriving and is going to be going here, we need to get some new plates because they came chipped, unfortunately. I need to get rid of that chair because we've had it for so long and it just needs to go to the tip now. And all across here, the panels are fucked. Excuse my French, but there's no better way to explain how bad this is. Essentially what's happened is over the course of, I don't know, like a month or a couple of months, however long these panels have actually been in, they have started to swell, buckle and warp because of the moisture in the air. Originally, if you watch me build this bench together, I did actually glue all of the panels against the back there, and they have started to come away, as you can kind of see here and here, and here. Now, I explained all of this in the last vlog, but I thought I would try out a couple of things to fix it. The first one was to use some veneer pins to basically pin the panels to the backboard, as you can see here. Now, I wanted to use a nail gun because I thought that would be tons of fun, but it's also incredibly expensive, and a table is probably a better use of my money. So I used a hammer and a nail, and I put some nails into the back. However, that has not worked. They kind of just push against the nails and like use the nail as a thread. So I'm a little bit stumped about what to do next. The alternative that I could do is screw it in, and I think that's what I'm gonna probably try today, and then give it another coat of paint to get rid of all of like the gaps that you can see from where it swelled. Because obviously when I put this together, they were all interconnected, and now that they've come apart, you can actually see where the paint hasn't actually gone. So I need to thin all of these out, paint them, and put screws in place to hold it in. Now, I'm not overly stressed on whether this works or not. Worst case scenario, it doesn't like fit, and then I'll just take it all off and I'll put some new like maybe MDF panels up there instead, because thankfully these panels that I've put in weren't actually that costly, so I don't actually mind. It is a bit annoying. I would like to keep it how it is, and just because this is a temporary bench for the time being, as a practical place for me to store things and for us to sit at the table, I'm not worried about it being super aesthetically pleasing. However, I don't want it to fall apart either. So for argument's sake, let's get the tools out. And I'm gonna pop a couple of screws into here to see if this works. Not really sure what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna pop them anywhere. Okay, right, that does actually pin it to the back. That kind of worked. We've gone from having a gap at the back to it now being completely flush. I need to bury the screw a little bit so I can fill over the top of it and hide the fact there's a screw there, but that seems to have worked. Let's try another one like here and on here and see if it's any better. Trying to do this one-handed isn't the best, but oh, see, look, I've split the wood. Oh, shit. Oh, that's a rookie mistake. Okay, well, I'm not completely proud of what I've done here. It is what it is, okay? But if I put the screws in the gaps, it actually holds it together really well. How I'm gonna fill over that, I have absolutely fucking no idea, but it is what it is. Maybe I'll just put a cushion across the back. You know, sometimes you do DIY and it all goes to plan and everything works out nicely. Other times, well, it's just a shit show. And when it's a shit show, you commit to the problem. What I have now done is made it look a lot worse. However, it is now all pinned to the back. What I am going to attempt to do is cover over the problem I have caused. And if it still looks crap, at least you guys have learned how not to do it. However, I think I may have rescued the situation. What I have tried to do basically is put filler over all the screws and then smooth it down the groove so I can kind of blend it into where it naturally would be. Now, it doesn't look great right now. Obviously, when I sand it down, it should look a bit nicer. And then when I paint over it, you shouldn't actually notice the screws in there at all. Now, it's not perfect, but it's the best workaround that I've got so far. Once this is all dry, I'm gonna paint it and show you what it looks like after the fact. Fingers crossed, it turns out okay. And after a few hours later, I think it actually turned out all right. Again, I have to reiterate, it is not perfect by any means. Like when you sat here, you can clearly see the filler that I've put on there. But to be frank, when the table goes in, we put the cushions on top and the cushions across the back, you're not really gonna notice. Speaking of which, a massive delivery of the table has arrived. And I thought I was gonna have to carry this up several flights of stairs, so I asked some friends to come and help. But it turns out they just deliver it straight to my door and they brought it in the flat for me. So that is a win, because yeah, I think this is a table 51 kgs in weight. But I am super looking forward to putting that thing together and getting it all in the lounge. And I think next vlog, what I'm going to do as well, we're going to look for some foam so we can, and some fabric as well, so we can upholster the bench and make it all comfortable to sit on, as well as getting that thing built. But for this vlog, I'm going to leave it to you guys to let me know in the comments down below what you would have done to like kind of fix this bench, because obviously I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along and doing what I think is best. It's not turned out the prettiest in the world, but for us, and like as I say, because it is like a temporary thing whilst we're living here, and the table and furniture and stuff like that, that is to come with us. I'm quite all right with how it's turned out. But as always, if you have feedback, always let me know down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a thumbs up rating. I would genuinely appreciate it. If you are new to my channel, hit subscribe. We're on our road to 25k. We're getting there slowly now that I'm making vertical form content again, which, by the way, if you don't watch it, I highly recommend you do, because it's like the daily stuff that happens, like, and like vlogging stuff, I put into short form rather than like compiling it all into one video at the end of the week. So if you want to go and watch those, I would genuinely appreciate that. But as always, guys, been Orion. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, peace, much love. Bye-bye.